I was diagnosed with schizophrenia when I was 21, and I think I was just searching for answers in life, really. That's all I was doing. I think it was devastating, the stigma and the label. I lost a lot of friends, and you know, people found it hard to relate to me, and I found it hard to forget the fact that I was given this diagnosis. And it was hard to relate to anybody regarding it, and I was isolated, and it was even worse because of the stigma, you know. I mean, particularly when I was in hospital, I mentioned I was having a spiritual experience, and the doctor says, well, I'm a Christian, and I know, I'm not saying that was a bad belief, but a bad thing to say, but what I'm saying is that it wasn't very elaborate, it wasn't very empathetic, really. I could have done with some references to go by to find out, you know, what I'm actually experiencing. I only knew it was spiritual through another patient telling me that. Have you heard of the Spiritual Crisis Network? So otherwise I would still be lost today. The Spiritual Crisis Network, I first heard about from a lady who wanted to, in occupational therapy, wanted to bring in a drum for me to drum on because I had a lot of energy. She mentioned shamanism and how that helped her. But the energy I was experiencing was too much, so I needed to release that. And basically, instead of giving space to exercise and move around, I was told that, you know, just to calm down. Eventually I was pounced on by 5 policemen, and I surrendered to them because I surrendered because I could have quite easily overpowered them, but that wasn't the wish. I was in a very peaceful but energetic state of not meaning any harm, but it was perceived as me being very aggressive, and I was just persecuted for that, for my presence probably. They were intimidated. They wanted to make my problem a pathological one of needing medication. It just disempowered me. It made me feel worthless. What I'm trying to explain, it made me feel worthless with regards to what I was experiencing. So it's the first time in years that I've been able to speak to somebody about spiritual experiences and mental health in the same place. Isolation, it's helped me to overcome isolation, and it gives me optimism. It allows me to plan for the future as well.